Marking the 199th anniversary of the siege of Old Fort Erie, many events will portray the excitement and drama of the War of 1812.
Well, this is the 27th year that the reenacting community has come here, and this is the largest annual reenactment in Canada.
Give me a rundown on what takes place over the weekend.
Well, all these volunteers who traveled from all over North America got here mainly yesterday, on Friday. But the big event here gets underway Saturday morning with Major Buck's surrender. This poor guy has to surrender Fort Erie to the U.S. Army this morning. And then this afternoon we're going to recreate the battles of Chippewa and Lundy's Lane. There's ongoing tours and activities all day. This evening, though, is the big show. All the kids in the neighborhood here know that we blow up our National Historic Site every year. And at 8 o'clock, General Drummond, a Canadian-born guy who commanded all the British and Canadian and Native guys, he tries to attack this American-held fort. And then after that, we let people get closer to the action. You can buy a ticket. Regular admission will get you into the Lantern Tour. Very dramatic, close-up feel of what it was like following General Drummond's attack. And then Sunday morning, we take it a little more seriously. We have a memorial service on this Sunday to honor those who served and fell here. And then the last event of the weekend at 1 o'clock is the sortie. It was a big battle, but it just only got the name the Exit because the Americans exited the fort, beat up on the British and Canadians, and in turn got beat up trying to get back inside the safety of Fort Erie.
With the reenactment comes Casualties. Philip Moselle was present to take care of the wounded soldiers.
Okay, I have set up an aid station as they would have during the War of 1812. So I'm a regimental surgeon with the Incorporated Militia of Upper Canada. So I've laid out a number of the tools and instruments the surgeon would have used at that time. Saws, knives, and things like that for performing various surgical procedures.
Author J. Phillip was on hand to talk about her book, The Silent Canoe.
It's a brand new historical fiction novel. It starts out in 1793 and covers all the years up until the War of 1812. So you get to see basically what the settlers were doing up until then. What were the different philosophies? What were the different struggles and conflicts that people were faced with? Because interestingly enough, the war actually was a continuation of the American War of Independence. So 20 years before the war, they were still very afraid that war was going to happen. And in fact, Governor Simcoe at the time, he often had all of the ships out in the harbor because he was afraid that the Americans were going to attack at any point.
The siege of Old Fort Erie could not be possible without the help of many volunteers.
This event was started by the reenacting community and maintained and has built over the years because of their hard work. So this is their show. And they're putting in an incredible amount of hours. There's probably about 700 reenactors on the ground here. They each put in probably 20 hours over a weekend in period costume. They bring thousands of dollars individually of equipment and muskets and tents and uniforms. So we owe it all to them really for the effort they put on here. And this is a great way to tell this epic story of the events that took place here.
Next year celebrates the 200th anniversary of the siege of Old Fort Erie. For more information, log on to NiagaraParksHeritage.com. For The Source, I'm Katie Panselin.